Hey folks, welcome to the Flipside. I'm Sam, and you have joined us for a an episode of It Belongs in a Museum, to which you should dutifully reply, "So do you, Dr. Jones." I'm not Dr. Jones, but "so do you" will do just fine. Yes, it is taken from a line in uh, Indiana Jones, and yes, I'm a huge fan of both Harrison Ford and the Indiana Jones series. So there you have it. But what we do here is we talk about some games that are basically out of the limelight for one reason or another. More often than not, they're out of the limelight simply because they are older than a year old, because that seems to be the focus of our industry's content creators more often than not always, but most people like to cover the new stuff or the stuff that hasn't even come out yet. We like to take one day out of the week and focus on those things that are not in the limelight anymore. And we've put an arbitrary number of years on it for its age, being 5. So if it's 5 years old or older, it is it will be it is valid for being covered on It Belongs in a Museum. So thank you for being here. I appreciate you. We do like to take things a little bit on the fun side here, and so we'll talk about that in just a few more moments, but let's go ahead and say hello to everyone. Tom is here. What's up? Hi, all. I will only catch about half of the stream today. That is okay. That's okay. That's okay. No problems. Thank you for being here, Tom. We appreciate you. Ryan says, what's in the museum today? 2 games. Ryan, and we'll talk about those in just a few minutes. And so do I. Hello, Sam. Hello, everyone. Hello, Micah. Hello, Philip. Scott Drew says, yay, you made it, Sam. Yep, and I believe it's you, Scott. Happy birthday, buddy. We did it just for you and your birthday. No, that's not it. But the other thing that I had possibly planned on doing today just didn't come together. We're going to try to do it next week on Monday, but I still have to call the person. Life is busy, and that's just the long and the short of it. But I wasn't able to get things laid out for this week, so maybe next week we'll see what happens. But happy birthday, Scott. Speaking of new, I know, Philip. I knew it. I knew somebody was going to say something about this because Blood Rage Valhalla did launch today, and I now belong in a museum. Yeah, you are older than 5, Scott. So you should work. You should work on that. Blood Rage Valhalla launched today. Yes, I know. That would help. Calling and setting it up. Yes, it would help. All right, so let's just talk about the elephant in the room here for a little bit, since Philip pointed at it. So yeah, I did spend, I guess, about an hour altogether taking a look at the new campaign, I watched the How to Play video twice, which I wasn't impressed with, frankly. It looks like it was just thrown together. Not that it's bad information. It just looks like it was slapped together at the last minute. And that's unfortunate. But I watched the How to Play video twice. I perused the campaign a little bit. I watched Board Game Co. Alex watched his first impressions video that he made after basically playing 2 out of 3 rounds of a game. He said he couldn't finish the last round because he had other commitments he had to get to, and the game ran a little bit long. So now Alex is somebody that Blood Rage was was his number 1 game of all time for a few years. And he's played, by his own admission, dozens and dozens of plays of Blood Rage, and I'm right there with him. So what he had to say carried a lot of weight based upon how much he enjoys Blood Rage and how much he has played Blood Rage in the past. So I would point everybody towards Board Game Co.'s video on that with Alex, and just take what he has to say with a grain of salt, because everybody's different, and so you never know. But with that having been said, this was not what I was hoping would be. Like, if you're a Blood Rage person, this is an auto buy. As for me right now, this is not an auto buy. This is not something like, I love Blood Rage, so boom, I must have this. It's not there. Not yet. I'm gonna do more research. I'm gonna try to see what I can do to get a play in on TTS. I'm gonna do some stuff. This is not, at all a doomsday thing here. That's not what I'm saying. But there are little things in it, and Alex talks about some of them. There are little things in it that I'm just on the fence about. He only had one thing that I'm not going to spoil his video, so you go watch what he has to say, but he only had one thing that he really didn't care for. Other things he was kind of neutral on, and other things that he liked that it did. One of the things that I really like that it's doing, I like how they've instituted the gods, and how there are basically 3 gods per game, and each god comes with its own deck of cards that it puts into the deck of cards that you use throughout the course of the game. So depending on which gods are used, the game is going to have a different feel. So you're going to have the ability to have a very much Loki-minded game, because he's one of the 3 gods that are in the deck of cards. And then you're also going to have games that don't have that Loki feel, because he's not one of the gods of the game, and his cards are not in the deck. So how they've done that, I like that. And right now, that is the one thing that I'm really kind of... I want to see how that feels. That's the one thing I'm interested in right now. Don't like the look of the board. I think it looks like a Viking version of Clue Museum Caper. Don't like the board at all. But it's just too early. It's too early. But it's just not. It's not hitting. Like right now, I'm more tempted to purchase Blood Rage 2.0 than I am to purchase Blood Rage Valhalla. That's my impressions right now. I have more reason to purchase a game that I already own so that I can update my version of that game than buy Valhalla. That might change. That might not change. I don't know. That's why it's called a first impression. But I'm going to do more research, and that's what I encourage you to do. Go look at it more if you're interested at all. Do your research, watch the videos, look, study the campaign page, and go from there. That's pretty much where I'm at right now. Let's see here. The new board is hideous, Philip says. Really just backing for the old content. Well, again, that's sounds like you are right in trying to play it before you back it. Yeah, I definitely do. I don't think that there's going to be anything in the game that I absolutely hate. There is, except for that board. Man, that board. Me and a buddy of mine, Koss, were talking earlier today on because he and I both are Blood Rage fans, and he and I were just going back and forth about it. And one of the comments on Alex's videos were about the board. He says, "I think it was Thor with Mjolnir in the kitchen." And so I told Kaz, I said, maybe they're going to come with another. It's going to come with another set of rules, so you can play Clue Valhalla Caper with the same board. And of course, it's just tongue in cheek. But man, it might grow on me. I'm not saying anything, but right now it's like, holy cow, man alive. It's whoa. Just don't like the way the board looks at all. The miniatures all look good. All of the digital sculpts that are out there, if they can pull those digital sculpts out, man, they look great. The miniatures look great. It looks like there's going to be fewer miniatures because you only have, I think it's 6. No. Yeah, I think there's 6 miniatures per faction. So there's 2 elites, and then there's 4, no, 8. Yeah, there's 6 regular troops and 2 elites. And the 2 elites look like they're replacing the mystics. So there's a lot that I'm really wary about. There's a couple of things that I'm like, okay, that's cool. That was a neat little twist. But there's a lot of things that I'm like, I don't know about that. So we'll see how it goes. Clue, the Museum Caper is a great game. It is a great game, but it's not Blood Rage. It's just not. So, yes, maybe they'll listen to all the fans and change the board before the game releases. I don't know. Regarding your disappointment, is it Tycoon's fault, Lang's fault, or Simon's fault? I would say it's none of the above. I'm not placing fault on anyone for disappointment because just because it isn't the way I wanted it, it doesn't mean that it is. Just because it's not the way I wanted it, it doesn't mean that it's not good. So I don't think fault needs to be placed anywhere. It just doesn't look the way I would have made it look, or the way I would have wanted it to look. It looks. I mean, Koss was even asking me. He was like, is it supposed to be a castle or something like that? I was like, dude, no, it's supposed to be the halls of Valhalla. He was like, oh. I mean, it's like, it's that kind of stuff. If you can't tell that it's the difference between a castle and the halls of Valhalla, then something's wrong with the board. Just from a graphic design, artistic point of view. So there you have it. Get on with it, Eric says. I don't need any more gray hair just because you went on and on and on and on and on. Yeah, well, talking about going on and on and on. There you go. All right. Well, we will get on with it. Fine then, Eric. See, I don't know. When Eric says something like that, I want to just do the opposite because I don't want to give him the satisfaction that he provided the impetus to get on with the actual point of the video. Why would I do that to him? For him. Why would I bolster his big-headedness? Interesting. Well, I'm going to linger just for a few moments longer, just because. I should sip with a pinky up. Anyway, good to have you here, Eric. Thank you for being here, buddy. Well, you got some free hearts because my flopping fingers. Oh, please, could you talk some more? Oh, trying that reverse psychology now. See, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to keep going because I know that was a fake thing, Eric. All right. Let's see. But going back to Tycoon's fault, Lang's fault, or Simon's fault, I don't think fault needs to be placed. It's just because me being a singular individual just because I'm disappointed in some of the things, it doesn't mean there's fault. It just means that it's not what I was going to hope it was. It's not what I was hoping it would be. But there you have it. All right. Well, first game is Blood Rage. I actually thought about doing that. But we've already done Blood Rage, and I'm trying to do 2 different games for as long as I can. And then at that point, if I don't, if I get to the point where I can't do 2 old games that are 5 years or older, then we're just going to have to put a pause on the series for a little bit. But until then, I want to do 2 different games every week. And that's one of the things that I do to prepare for this stream. I go back and remind myself of what we've already done so that we don't repeat anything. So, I mean, we've done, at 57 episodes here, at the end of this episode, we will have put the spotlight on 114 games over the last 57 weeks, give or take a few, because I know we missed a few weeks here and there, but over the last 57 episodes, we've highlighted 114 games that are no longer in the spotlight. And that's a cool thing, in my opinion. That's one of the reasons why we're doing it. So, I did, for a moment there, I thought, we could go over Blood Rage again and then kind of use that as a reason to talk about Valhalla. But I know that somebody was going to bring that up anyway. So it wasn't going to, we're not going to talk about Blood Rage. So no, it's not going to be Blood Rage, and it's not going to be TI4, Eric, because we already did TI4. You just weren't here to see it. So that's your fault, not mine. Well, there goes the TI4 revisit. See? I know. I just said that. All right. So we are going to go ahead and get to it here. So what we do here to make it a little bit fun, I told you I was going to explain that for a little bit. What we do to make it a little bit fun is we make a game out of it. I give you a couple of clues about each of the games. We're going to talk about 2 games. I give you a couple of clues about the first one, and then everybody that's in chat can go ahead and try to figure out what it's going to be. And the first person to correctly guess what game we're going to talk about first and subsequently second will get a surprise package from the Flipside. So a little bit of a giveaway here. We're going to give you a couple of our stickers, and then we also include a game that I'm getting rid of out of my collection. So it's kind of a way for me to keep my game collection cold, and I'm not even going to use the word streamlined because there are so many games that are in this room right now, and many of them I don't think I'm ever going to play again, so I really do need a call. And that's going to be maybe one of the things we talk about, we think about doing for when we hit 10,000 subscribers. That is coming up, by the way. We're almost at 9.2 thousand subscribers. We're at 9.17, I think. And so we've got a ways to go. And I'm not like holding my breath. Is it today? It's not going to be today. It's going to be a couple of months down the road at the very least. So, but when we hit 10,000 subscribers, we're going to probably do, thinking about doing a garage sale. I would say do a huge giveaway, but that's a giveaway would really hit our pocketbooks pretty hard, because every time, even doing just 8 shipments a month, that's that can get pricey nowadays with shipping the way it is. So we might do a garage sale just so that we can kind of get a padding of funds for the shipping costs to get all the stuff to people. That might be parcel of what we do for our celebration of 10,000 subscribers. So there you have it. Yeah, see, look, Eric, that's just the way it is. Boxing Day was fun because of that. Yeah, that's basically how it is. Boxing Day, that was a cool thing. We'll do Boxing Day again, but hopefully that'll be after we hit 10,000 subscribers, but we'll do another Boxing Day giveaway. That was really fun. Yeah, pay for shipping, yeah. I don't know that, contrary to what Eric thinks, the channel doesn't make a lot of money. It doesn't make a lot of money at all. It makes some money, don't get me wrong, but it does not make a lot of money. I am much more dependent upon what I make from the Dice Tower and what I make from the job, the water systems management job that I do on Mondays. Makes a lot more money than the channel actually makes. So sorry, I've got this thing on my finger that's bothering me, so now it's gone. But anyway, we don't make a lot of money here on the channel per se. I'm much more dependent upon the work I do for the Dice Tower and for Doug and the water systems to really keep our family afloat, along with what Jesse makes. We're really kind of 50-50 on that. So I'm not gonna, we're gonna put more thought into it. Jesse and I are gonna talk about what we're gonna do, and we'll go from there. But yeah, that's the right idea, so that we can take care of some of those shipping charges ahead of time. And maybe, what, you want to raise? Good luck with that. No, I don't want to raise. But we're always trying to find ways that we can try to make more money. This is an occupation for me. It's one of 3 jobs that I have. And I look at it that way. I don't look at it as a job per se, because a job is something that you have to do, in my opinion. And this is something that I enjoy doing. And if I can do that and continue to make money doing it, then that's good for my family. And I don't want it to get to the point where I'm like, this is really a waste of time. I need to be doing something else that's more productive for my family. That's where my mind is usually going. So take that for what it's worth. Just things that are bouncing around up here in the old noggin. All right, so here we go. First, let me give you this is going to be a clue for both games that we're going to talk about today, because they both hail from the same year, and that is the year 2019. All right, so that's your first clue about both games. Now I'm going to give you another clue about the first game we're going to talk about, and that is going to be a couple of the mechanisms involved. All right, so the first clue is that it comes from the year 2019, and the second clue is that it is going to employ variable player powers and player elimination. All right, so variable player powers and player elimination, those are 2 mechanisms that this game employs, and it was created in 2019. So there you go. You haven't talked about subscribing on the channel in a while. I know you don't like to, so I'm mentioning it. Oh, well, thank you, Tom. I appreciate that. Yeah, you can subscribe to the channel. There are subscription levels. And we tried to make, I think there's 4 different subscription levels. We tried to make them as, if you want to go all the way up to $25 a month, I think there's a $10 a month, a $5 a month, and there's even I think there's a dollar amount. But it's really wherever you want. You choose. We don't. We probably should push it a little bit more than we do, but thank you, Tom, for mentioning that. Maracaibo TI4 Valhalla Edition. TI4 as a Viking game where it's not in space, it's like different Viking clans, and it's nautical, not space. I'm just saying. You have like different technology trees. I mean, at that point it would be TI5 though. And it probably wouldn't be Twilight Imperium. Maybe it would, I don't know. Like Nordic Imperium. Ooh. Oh boy. Cthulhu Death May Die. No. Last Bastion. No, we already covered Last Bastion. Jaws. No. Dune, no. Cthulhu Death May Die, no. Little fun fact, I don't own Cthulhu Death May Die. JT does, so that's why I haven't bought it. If I want to play Cthulhu Death May Die, I just need to call up JT and figure that out. Tom says tiny towns. What? Tom got it right? How did that happen? Tom? Aftermath Paladins? No. Tiny Towns is correct. There you go. Clank Legacy Acquisitions Incorporated. Yeah, that's a good game, Robert, but that is also wrong because this is correct. Tom got it. TM, good job. All right, so what we do here is that if Tom wants to, he can give his winnings away because he's won multiple times on the channel before, but that is not a requirement. He may just say, yes, I'd like another surprise thing. So while he's determining, oh, wait. Yeah, while he's, let me see. Got to fix this box because it is round. I'm interested to see how the inside of this box looks because this does get played somewhat regularly in this household. Our kids really do enjoy this. Jesse really enjoys this game a lot. I like to play the game in a way that most people don't like to play it, so I don't like to play it more often than not because the people that are playing it want to play it the way I don't like to play it. But with that being said, I do enjoy this game. I think it's pretty fun. That's why it stays in my collection. But let's see. Congrats, Tom. It's been a while. Yes, it has. Way to go, Tom. Insider trading. No, it's not insider trading. He has no idea. All right, so while Tom decides what he wants to do, whether he wants to offer his winnings to someone else or take them for his own, we're going to go ahead and get down to the table and see what we can see here. So here is what Tiny Towns looks like. I need to put that back on auto. I like the slow fade. So this is what Tiny Towns looks like on the outside. It is by AEG. So that's Alderact Entertainment Group. That's what AEG stands for. A little bit of information there. Peter McPherson is the designer. And this is what the bottom of the box looks like. So it does have some nice little wooden house meeples. And these are the player boards that you go, and it also has cubes, wooden cubes, and a bunch of cards that denote these different kinds of patterns that you have to replicate on your player board in order to put that kind of building into effect. It goes for about 45 minutes, 1 to 6 players, and it's good for 14 and up. This really doesn't mean much other than the publisher probably didn't want to pay extra cash to have more of these little symbols on it because it's under 14, which means it would be a toy and all this other kind of stuff. So this doesn't mean much. You can play this with a lot of different people. It's not a difficult game to play, and I think a lot of people that are younger than 14 will probably be able to grasp it. But basically, you're going to be using resources to construct buildings and build your town. Says it very quickly. So you use these resource cubes, and you place them out there. And then once you get the right pattern of resources on your board, you can replace those cubes with the building that it comes from. So there you have it. That's basically what Tiny Towns is. We'll go ahead and open this up and give you an idea of the rules. First of all, so here's the rule book. And again, if you look at the rules, not a lot going on here. Very simple rules, not difficult at all. It looks like, I mean, there's a huge spread there about setup and how everything's going to go about. And then once you get into that, now you have a round overview and what you're going to be able to do on each of the different rounds. And look at this, game end is right there. A few additional rules right there. And then that's it. You have solo mode over here. And then you have all of the different buildings, a little bit of a FAQ over there. So really, the rules are right here, what you're able to do. And this is set up so you're only looking at 2, maybe 3 pages of rules. That's not it, not hard at all. So we're going to, and again, I did not play this. So Dante and Daphne have played this at once. I just played 2-player. I don't know who CV and T are. Have no idea. CV and T. I can't, I have no idea. So there you have it. Those are score sheets, by the way. And then we have all of these cards here. These are the different resource cards that are out there. Of course, all of the entire deck is here. And this is one of the things I like using this deck. There's a variant in there that basically says that there's one master builder, or maybe this is the variant, but there's one master builder, and that person each round gets to pick what resource becomes available. Otherwise, you could use this deck and you just flip over a card, everybody gets a brick. Flip over a card, everybody gets a wood. Flip over a card, everybody gets a wheat, and so forth and so on. But the variant that is in there is that there's a master builder, and that person determines what resource becomes available. And then these are all of the different cards that are in the game. These are all of the different buildings, cottages, archive of the Second Age, and these are the patterns that you have to make with your resource cubes. So this one needs 2 brick, a wheat, a stone, and a wood in that configuration on your player board. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I had 2 brick, a stone, a wood, and then a wheat up here, I could take those off, and then in any of those spaces, I can put this that's interesting. I can't remember. Well, yeah, okay, it's that kind of thing. So they would be able to put out one of these guys on their board in one of those places, and then that will free up those other areas wherever they didn't place it. So if I place it right here, then these areas would now be free to start putting more resources in to get one of these other patterns out there. And they all have different kinds of scoring conditions down at the bottom and all of that kind of stuff. So it is a really neat game that is just all about spatial organization and putting all of these different things on your board to try to score different things. So you have different kinds of buildings here. You have green buildings, purple buildings, yellow buildings, turquoise buildings, red buildings, and then you have all of these different resources. I can't remember what these are. Orange buildings as well. 8. That's there. 5 different resources. Wooden resource, 6 wooden monuments, 126 wooden buildings, wooden master. I can't remember what these little things are. They're in the, oh, wells. That's what they are. These are wells. And wells is something that you can put out on the board. So wells, and then you have orange, which are, I think they're cathedrals, and then factories, which are the black ones. So that's everything that comes down there. But another cool thing about the game is that it does come with a pretty decent insert. Of course, you do have to use all of these plastic bags and all that good stuff, but it does fit everything very well and holds everything nice and snug so that it can be set up reasonably. Here's the master builder marker. That's almost worth using just to use it. I love that, man. It looks cool. It's a hammer. But that is Tiny Towns. And then these guys go right in here like that. That goes there. And boom. Finito. Anybody not win yet? If no one speaks up, I'm going to take it. Those stickers can fetch quite a bit of money on the black market. No, they can't. You freaking liar. Take it. Get a new sticker. I got to go anyway. I'll take it, Sam. All right. Well, Tom, I'll reach out to Tom later on. All right. It's like a license plate tag. Got to renew it every year. Win it and leave like a boss. I know, right? Mic drop. Never played Tiny Towns, but sounds like it has familiarity to it that it would hit the table easily. It does. It is one of the games where the kids will take it and play it, teach their friends how to play it. It's a game that I don't have to sit down and teach how to play anymore. They know how to play this game. They play it. They're comfortable with it. And it's one of the games that they will readily play by themselves. I don't have to teach it. Jesse doesn't have to teach it anymore. So It is a good one that's going to be staying on our shelves. Probably for me, I'm going to keep this one, not because I like it so much, but because I know my family likes it so much. So that's one of the reasons why it's staying in the collection. But we'll be sending out a surprise package to Tom here pretty soon. So that's good. All right. So for our second game, the first clue is, as I said earlier, that it comes from 2019. So that's the first clue. Both of these games come from the same year. The second clue is going to be a couple of mechanisms from this other game. And this one will use, let's go with variable player powers. And then we'll also use dice rolling. So dice rolling and variable player powers. Those are the two mechanisms. The second clue is that it came from the year 2019. So there you have it. Let's let your Google foo or your BGG foo hit it and go for it. Let's see here. TI4 How to Save a World Edition. That's an interesting combobulation. I mean, wow. Goodness. That actually works, though. Thematically speaking. That's pretty funny. TI4 How to Save a World Edition. Batman, Gotham City Chronicles, The Magnificent, Star Wars Outer Rim. Lots of good lots of good guesses. The Magnificent, though. I think I remember that game, but I don't own it. But I don't see. I think that was a game about magic, right? I just can't remember. Or maybe it wasn't. Oh, yes, it was. Yeah, a game about, that's about, from the creators of Santa Maria. Okay, set in a mystical world, beautifully illustrated by that. A game, the largest audience by shows. Magnificent performers. Okay, so not necessarily magic. All right, I was thinking it was more of a magic, like sleight of hand magic. But it's performers, not necessarily magic, I guess. But that's incorrect, though, Eric. Nice try. Star Wars Outer Rim, TI4 How to Save a Life, designed by The Fray. No. Campy Creatures, no. Horrified, no. Funkoverse, no. We'll go ahead. All of that has been no, except for one. Cooper Island, no. But wow, what is up with Eric actually making guesses? Real guesses. That's interesting. But Jeff has already actually got it correct. And that is going to be Batman Gotham City Chronicles. So Jeff C. Has already run lots of good options that use these clues. It's kind of why I went with them. It's not. I had no idea. But this is one that we're going to be talking about. And actually, the one that, the reason that I decided to do this today is because we did Conan last week. So we did Conan last week. We're doing this week. It's kind of almost the same game. It's just a reskin. And upgraded, and they supposedly worked out a lot of the rules mishaps that happened in Conan. But if I remember correctly, this one still had a rather beefy rule book that drew a lot of ire from the community way back when. So I don't know that they fixed anything. I think they may have come up with some new mishaps when they were trying to fix the old ones from Conan. But it is a neat reimplementation. One might say that if you were a larger Batman fan than you were Conan, forget Conan exists. But if you like Conan better as an IP, then maybe you go with that one with the realization that you might need to do some house ruling on some of the different difficulties with the rule book. But they're both really good games, and they're both fairly similar. This just feels updated, if that makes sense. Jeff C says, "Who wants it? Don't be shy." All right. Jeff has magnificent coffee again. Way to go, Eric. See, listen, look at that. Let's see. Better watch it, Ryan. Jeff coming for your throne. Ryan Picklesheimer is here. What's up, Ryan? Good to see you, bud. Who wants it? Don't be shy. I still have my copy of Batman City Chronicles. Koss is here. What's up, Koss? Thanks for being here, buddy. Fun game if you can figure it out. So hard to get to the table, sadly. The rule book for this game was hot garbage. Even put that in my review vid. Yep. Is this your only DC Batman game? It's not my only DC Batman game. I also have the DC version of... Oh, what was the name of it? Dang it. Spy. Not Spy. Spyfall. I have the DC version of Spyfall and prefer it to the regular version of Spyfall. However, there's a lot of extra stuff that's available in Spyfall, the base game, that you don't get in the DC version. But I like the DC version because you have these special role cards that allow you to do certain things during the course of the game that Spyfall, the base edition, doesn't have, and I like that kind of variability that DC Spyfall puts into it. So I do own that. I do own a couple of Wonder Woman games because my wife is a huge Wonder Woman fan. So Jesse really likes Wonder Woman, so we have gotten a couple of those. But other than that, like I didn't get Deceased. I didn't get that. Or maybe I did. I remember backing that specifically for the Wonder Woman. I need to look at that. So I think it's already back. It's already come out, though. Anyway, good to see you, Sam Koss says. I'm still not loving that new one. Well, we already talked about it earlier in the stream. Hoping the update to look. Yep, been blood raging about it all morning. All right, well, there is actually 2 boxes of this game, so we really need to get down to the table. Let's go ahead and do that, and we'll look at both. So here is the huge box that we're going to start with here. Batman, Gotham City Chronicles, and first off, artwork was amazing. Artwork was really well done, and never pulled the trigger. Pardon me, my goodness. How's that for ASMR, people? Let's see here. Oh gosh, I can never remember which. There it is. Okay. And we thought the Conan box was huge. No, this is every bit as big as the Conan box. This is actually a little bit wider than the Conan box, and it's taller than the Conan box, and there's 2 of them. So yes. So yeah. Okay. So as we're talking about it, here is the hot garbage rule book. I mean, you can already tell, probably going to be hot garbage. If there are no less than, let's go ahead and just look at the 59. Okay, a 60-page rule book that has this font on it. Okay, 60 pages. My goodness gracious. Hot garbage indeed. Anyway, again, like I said, they were trying to fix some of the stuff that happened in Conan, and I think they just made a whole bunch of other mistakes. Here is the mission rule book. We're not going to go through all of this. Don't want to have any spoilers, but just understand it does come with a mission book and a rule book. This is actually some pretty cool stuff that I had in there. Just artwork. Looks pretty cool though. I like it. Maybe that'll be something we give away. Nope, not going to do it. Maybe I will. I don't know. We'll see. So here are a bunch of the cards that came out of the... This is interesting that this has coming out. These are item cards because I store this flat. I don't store this, you know, on its side. So interesting that these came out. But oh, got some turned around backwards here. Sorry. Just getting these things in here the way that they need to be. Got it, got it, got it, got it. All right. So item cards go in here, and you have, now this employs the same action selection system that Conan uses, and so these are some of the tokens that you're going to use for that. It also uses the same dice system from Conan, where you had reds that have the most hits on them, oranges have a middle amount, and then you have yellows that are the weakest dice. But then you also have some white and blacks here that are a little bit more. So here's the thing. This has. All right, how am I doing this here? There we go. All right, so this comes out. Let's move this off to the side over here for just a second. We'll put this over here. This has all the miniatures in it. So this is actually a really nice way. This is much better. I know that there's more production involved here, but this is much better than having all of those plastic bags of miniatures that Conan had in it. So that was a huge plus in my opinion. But you have all of these guys, and then you also have, so we'll put that right down there, and then you also have all of these guys. These are freaking cool. So you have this miniature that goes into this like that. So this is one of the Batman miniatures you can have in there. He's a super cool mini in my opinion. Here's Batgirl. And then I don't know all of these different characters' names. I'm not a DC fan. Here is another Batgirl. So, I mean, you know, there's just so many cool things in here that it's just one of those things where you're like, man, they really did well putting these things together. But here you have another Batman miniature, and you have the Bat Cow. Why? Why did the Bat Cow need to be a miniature? That's a good question. The rulebook screams Batman Gotham City Excel spreadsheet. What was on that picture? This one? You have Batman, Catwoman. I don't know who that is. Nightwing, maybe? No, that's not Nightwing. Nightwing had purple stuff. I don't know who he is. But anyway, and these are all the bad guys. They're Bane over there, and then a bunch of stooges, Bane stooges down there. So that's what that was. But maybe, yeah, I think that's the way it's supposed to be. Maybe it's supposed to be like this. I don't know. I have no idea. Yeah, many color choices are really good as well. They do stand out. So, it's the Red Hood? Is that who it was? I can't remember. I can't remember any of these people's names. I'm sorry. I apologize. It's really good. All right, so I'm taking stuff out here. Now, you remember earlier how each, with Conan, you had a whole bunch of just like player people. And that's basically what you have here, but you're going to have like these different boards, and the the player sheets kind of just go inside of them like this, and it gives you the ability. Let me put it down here. Maybe right here. It gives you the ability to, for example, if you get this ability here, then you're going to get that many. If you do this ability, you're going to get that many dice and all of that other kind of stuff. But let me put this over here like that, and then let's put some of this stuff back so that, again, I don't understand the whole, oh my gosh. Okay, that probably goes there. This probably goes here, like that, and then this pops out and goes down here like that, and then this goes here, I think. Somehow, I don't remember. There we go, like that, and then this guy goes down here, like that. Okay, so you have, for example, you have all of these things out here. You can have Batman out there, and then Catwoman's going to be on another one. And on the back, it has all of this other cool stuff about, you know, her backstory of Selena Kyle and all of that other kind of thing. So then you have, and then maybe you have, not Commissioner Gordon, but you have Robin. Then I'm trying to go through and figure out who is, oh, Azrael. Ooh. Red Hood, yeah, that's who it was. That one dude on the picture that I didn't know who he was, Red Hood. So anyway, let's say Red Hood's in here and he's fighting. So it gives you all of their stats, how much. This is their health down here. So those red cubes of earlier are going to be, you know, floating down here, and it allows you to know how good you're doing and that kind of thing. But as you can see, these are not the only three characters. You've got Commissioner Gordon, Nightwing, Huntress, Batgirl, Bluebird, the Black Canary, Renee Montoya, Harvey Bullock, another version of Batwoman, Orphan, another version of Robin, Azrael, three more versions of Batman. You have Batman with pink gloves. You have Batman with slightly hideous teeth, and then you have a Wolverine version of Batman, I guess. I don't know. Again, like I said, I'm not a. Then you have Katana. You have another version of Catwoman. Then you have Duke, and you have the Green Arrow, and you have Spoiler, and then of course, as we stated earlier, you have Batcow. So you have all of these different characters that are in the game that you can use and play, and that's one of the cool things about it. And unlike Conan, with Conan, if you weren't playing Conan, you definitely felt the difference between who was cool and who wasn't cool. You know what I mean? If you were playing Conan, you were the one running the show, and you were the one having all the fun because you were doing the most damage and so forth. But if with this one, everybody has their own special abilities. Everybody can kind of enjoy themselves on their own. So I'm going to put these back in here because, like I said, if you remember, we do have 2 boxes to go over here. So, oh my gosh, come on, get in there. All right, so here we go. That's that. Put this away like so. So that's one box. Now in here, we also have all of the boards, and these boards are freaking huge. All right, so here you have one of the 2 that are out there. So again, this is like a street thing. Oh, and they are also double-sided as well. So you have like an underground subway station that have like subway cars in here, and then platforms, and you can climb down onto the tracks and then back up and so forth. So you kind of get the idea, yeah? The other one, again, artwork on this stuff is like super awesome. But like Haas was saying, it doesn't really hit the table very often because of the rule book. But anyway, you kind of get the idea of how nice the artwork on the board was and how engrossing it was, really. And then on the other side, you have kind of like the Bane's Lair, I think, or something to that effect, where you have to go in and fight a whole bunch of Bane stooges and Bane himself. But I don't know. I don't remember exactly what they were all doing, but... All right, so boards go in first. Go ahead and show this. Boards go in first, just like so. Then this little thing goes in there, which kind of holds all of the player peoples right here. And then the player boards go in there as well, like so, like a glove. And then this goes in here on this side. Come on, get in there. There we go. There we go. You can do it. And then this goes in here like this. And then we're going to put this one up here like this. And these go in here on top of that. Like so. So again, fits everything really well. No lid lift. So production quality is amazing as far as that's concerned. But that's box 1. Box 2 had everything else that you need to play the game. And come on. Pardon me, excuse me. Oh my goodness, what a mess. I am sorry. All right, so these are all of the bad dudes, all right? So we're gonna get some of this stuff out of here just so we can see, you know, the forest with all of the trees out of the way. But you kind of get the idea. There's all of these bad guys that are going to be in the, you know, I showed you last time. Oh my goodness, I'm going to have a time putting this back together. Anyway, come on. So, contrary to what you might be thinking, I have played this game. I just have not played this copy of the game. But anyway, this is your bad guys kind of thing. And so you're going to have all of these people down here in this, and again, you're probably not going to have these specific people in here because this looks like all right, so you have all of these dudes in here, and so let's put some thugs in there, and we'll put Two-Face in there, and Killer Croc, and whatever. So you're not going to have all these heavy hitters in here, all right? So you have all of these people in here, and they have a certain number of a cost that you're going to have to pay in order to activate them. And when you activate them, they're going to shift down here. And now, instead of just paying 1 to activate them, now you have to pay 8 to activate them again. So you can do that. So if you want to activate Scarecrow, you only have to pay 1, but then he's going to shift back here, and to activate him again, you have to pay 8. And again, that can be kind of difficult. And so you have a whole bunch of different things going in here. You can have this go in here like that, or this like that. Then you have different, you know, different things going in here like so and like so. You could also have citizens and bystanders go in there. GCPD officers, depending upon the scenario, and SWAT. So again, these are like the NPCs, the people who aren't being activated all the time, guards maybe. So you get the idea, right? So that gives you an idea, basically, of how everything works. Definitely not going to try to show you everything because we don't have a whole lot of time. And on top of that, there's a lot about this game that I just don't remember. I am going to try to very quickly give some semblance of order to this show. Let's just call it that. Because goodness gracious. Oh, there's also a warning thing in there. Look at that. Anyway, but you kind of get the idea, right? And we also have to go over, and because underneath this huge thing here is a box, and I'll give you 2 guesses of what's in that box, and you'll probably only need one. But my goodness, so many different people. Harlequin, Jason Todd, Deathstroke, Poison Ivy, Clayface, Two-Face, the Joker, Bane. So, you know, it just, there's so much in this game, it's hard to go over everything. Deadshot, Deathstroke, the Riddler. All right, so they're all here. You know what I'm saying? It's not like they missed a whole bunch of different stuff. There's even different versions of Harley Quinn. You know what I mean? All right, so let's get these out of here now. And wow. And 2, 2, 1, and we'll put the warning up there. All right, and then these can go down here, and this can come out. All right, so in this box, gosh, it's hard to get out, first of all, because of the size of the boxes, but you can see that this is now empty. And so we've got, come on, there we go. And all of the miniatures. And these are generally most of the bad dudes. I think. I don't think there are any good guys in this box. But as you can see, this is like, you have the Man-Bat. You know what I mean? Really neat miniature. But you kind of get the idea, yeah? Here's Bane, Clayface, and I think one of these is Solomon Grundy. I don't know who all these other people are. That dude looks really freaky. Croc, maybe. Is this? Yeah, Lizard Man. Again, I don't even know if he's called Lizard Man, for crying out loud. I just know that he's part lizard, part man. There you go. So all of these peeps are in the game. Check that dude out. He's just awesome. Freaking awesome. Answered my question without reading it. Poor dental hygiene Batman is my favorite. He's much more... does this fault the same way Conan does, where Conan is obviously the main hero, Batman obviously the best hero? Well, I mean, Batman, I mean, yes, I did answer it a little bit, but I think it's much less, it's much less a, goodness, how in the world does he fit in there? Not like that. Not like that. He must go like this. Yes, that's probably what happens. So you have that, and then you have a whole bunch of different, like, this is Poison Ivy's vines. You know what I mean? Cool stuff. Cool stuff. These are a bunch of thugs. But you have more people underneath, you know what I mean? So, and these are most of the bad guys. You also have some terminal displays, because in order to, you know, a lot of the scenarios will have different things in them, like go to a computer terminal and do this or do that and that kind of thing. So again, this is definitely one of those games that I wouldn't say suffers from, but is definitely very much in the vein of there's a whole bunch of plastic. And the amount of plastic in the game can be overwhelming at times. You know what I mean? I wonder, did that, is this supposed to be, oh, this tells you that this is supposed to go there. But does this go on top? No, definitely doesn't. Okay, well, I guess it definitely goes down here, though. Yep, it sure does. So that goes on there. This goes on here. Like so. And then this goes back in there. Like that. And then this can go back in here. It comes out. Can't see what I'm doing. Oh, he decided to come out and play. Interesting, look at that. Alright, that goes there. That goes in like that. And then this gets put back inside. And then I would imagine this goes here. That kind of goes there. And then you have a whole bunch of stuff in here that, how did this fit? It's got to go there like that. Maybe. And then I have no clue how I got all this out of here. I'm just assuming it was something like this. You guys get to see me rebox this because that's fun, right? One more there. And then it looks like we can put a whole bunch of them in here like this. My goodness, I need to... But the thing is, because of all that plastic that's underneath this stuff, I don't know how else I would be doing this. You know what I mean? One, two, three, four, five. Oh my gosh. Oh, this has got to be so freaking boring. I'm sorry. Oh, look at that. That actually evened out. How about that? This can go down here, and then we've got all this stuff up here, like so, and who knows, and this goes in here somewhere too, and then this goes up here like this. Maybe. I don't know. Oh my gosh, and I didn't even use this again. It doesn't need to be used. How's that? And then the box goes right on top, just like that. Like a glove. Whew. Man alive. First box was absolutely perfect. No wonder this box was a disaster when you opened it. Ridiculously overpriced is the word you were looking for, or words you were looking for. Yes, that is probably correct. Dustin is here. What's up? You're really late. That's okay, man. Better late than never. That's what I always say. Thanks, Sam. You're making me want to pull it back out and slog through and relearn to play it again. This game is awesome fun once you get going. That I do remember because Vernon Piper was in our game group when I was down in Florida, and he really enjoyed Conan. He really enjoyed this game, and he was the one that did most of the grunt work on figuring out how the rules worked, and he did a pretty good job of teaching it. And the couple of times that it hit the table when I was playing with him were very fun, but that's because he had a very firm grasp on the rules, and I just never did. But you are correct. The time it takes to rebox this, I could play around a Blood Rage, maybe 2 rounds. That's not true. You're incorrect, Cos, although I do agree with the sentiment. Let's see. Calyx isn't enough for this one and its expansions, I guess. Yeah, that's true. Another mic drop leave. Bye, Jeff. Oh, Jeff had to take off too. Nobody's speaking up, so I'll take it. As always, you're the man. I'm in the middle of moving and the wife's yelling at me to move my butt. So got to go. I'll send you my new address. All right. Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it, buddy. Yes, the red hood. There you go. Did you get the Batmobile too? No, I did not. Really like the mini color choices. Yes. You turned it sideways for camera, idiot. You crack me up. You crack me up. All right. Well, that's about that. 12:42. Ooh, we actually went over time, but that's because there's so much to show. But that is that. Batman City Chronicles, Batman Gotham City Chronicles, sorry, and Tiny Towns today. 2 games that are basically on opposite ends of the spectrum as far as how complex they are. But that is it. Back to the shelf of shame with this game. Well, it's such a collection though, right? But yeah, it's going to go back to the shelf of shame of very rarely getting played, but you never know. You never know. I might want to pull it down. I might want to, again, like Haas said, slog through the rules, because it does have a lot of cool stuff going on in it. There's a lot of really fun mechanisms in there. It's just understanding how they all work together is the hard part. And on and on and on. Babbling on and on. Shut up. That's a song. I wasn't saying shut up to Eric. Everybody calm down. Calm down. All right, we're out of here. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you. I got to get to recording a review for tomorrow for the Dice Tower and editing it. And then we've got a special town meeting at my church tonight that we're really looking forward to doing. So thank you for being here. We appreciate you. We'll see you guys and gals on the flip side. Come on back tomorrow for a live stream of some sorts, whether it's going to be a review or a actual playthrough. I don't know yet, but we're going to be doing something tomorrow. So we'll see you back here. Thanks for being here. We'll see you guys and gals on the flip side. Take care.